Okay, no problem. I'll just start the class with you then. Let me say every like 20, 10 minutes, I will just pause so that I can save the recording so that it won't be too heavy for them to follow. Is that okay? Okay, so no problem. You can mute your. Okay, I don't know how. I can't really hear you. Let me see if I can. Can you say something so I can hear? Okay, so no problem. I think we'll just manage the sound. So going forward now, let me start the class. Are you good to go? So like I said, I'm about sharing my screen now, and I will share Microsoft project is a software. Microsoft. So okay. This is a. Okay, let me just wait for the screen to finish sharing, then I'll start the class. Okay, hello, good day, everybody. My name is Kesha. I'm Kesha. I'm your instructor for project management, the practical aspect of project management. So technically, you've all acquired the skill on project management. You know the terms, you know the terminologies, you know what is involved in creating and managing the project. So before I go forward, I want to take this time to introduce this app to you. There are multiple applications used for project management, and Microsoft Project is one of them. There are a lot of visualization tools you use for planning your entire project, from the management of the task to the costing to the attachment of resources. Those are the people that are involved, and so much more. And to know how long to track a chart and see how long a task would last, and the milestones involved, and how to track the progress so far. So, as project managers, you're expected to take documentation of every single step of the way. So now I'm going to go ahead and start this application anew. So this is the backstage view of Microsoft Project. Now I know you're familiar with Microsoft Word. You may be familiar with Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PowerPoint, and so forth. But the thing is that Microsoft Project doesn't usually come with that package all together. You have to install Microsoft Project on your own. That is separate from the other Office packages. So now the area of the Microsoft Project is similar to Excel. As you notice, is green. Excel is green. MS Word is blue. PowerPoint is like red, and Access and so much, so the others will be. But it's similar to Excel, and all of them are similar. So now we're at the backstage view of Microsoft Project, and this is the home. This is a new. This is new. That's if I want to create a new project from scratch, or I want to select from any of the templates, depending on what I want to do. So there are multiple templates here to copy from, but we're going to be starting from scratch. So now this is info, this is save, the same thing that is involved in your Microsoft packages. So not to waste your time, I will come back to the backstage view in due time. So let's go back, and sorry, let's go back to the backstage view. I will just click on new and click on blank, create a blank document. So we're created a blank document right here. So I'll just try and close the other window so I don't get confused, and no, don't save. Let me just close the other window so that I'll know what I'm doing. So I'll close this one as well. No, don't save. Okay, now this is where we are. So now in Microsoft project, it's similar to Excel. Like I said, it's made up of menus. As you can see, there's a task menu, there's a resource menu, there's reports menu. This helps you also generate reports, and project menu, and view, help, and some other menu. So each menu has its own set of grouped commands, that shortcuts or commands or icons that actually perform certain functions under it. And it's not just scattered all in all. We call this a ribbon. This entire session we call this a ribbon. This ribbon under task. If I click on resources, it has its own set of ribbon, and it's ribbon with its own set of tasks grouped into families. This for view, this for assignment, this for insert, and reports as well, and project as the name inclines. But I'm not going to bore you with all the specifics. I'll just go straight into creating a project. And like the first thing you do when you're creating a project, first and foremost, you would also want to here decide whether you want the scheduling to be done automatically or manually. So if I click here, you can see I can choose for it to be done automatically. I can choose for the scheduling to be done manually, but I will first say let it be done automatically. So first and foremost, let me just make it to be done manually. So we'll start with the first task, right? Let's assume that the first thing we want to plan. Let's plan, guys. My name is Kesha, and I'm getting married in November. So let's plan my wedding. So let's call this Kesha's wedding. Kesha's wedding. So just give a little space here. Good. So now first and foremost, we would, as you can see, the icon came up here. This is manually inserted. So I can either, it says what the information. Okay, let me just click on this and click on the drop down, so I can either choose for it to be automated. So when it's manually inserted, I have to insert everything manually. So the duration, the start time, the finish, and predecessor, and all of that. That's the sequencing on how the task should be. So if I click on this one, I can say I should automate it. As you can see, automatically just guessed and put for me that the duration of this will take 1 day and whatever. But that's not what I'm trying to do. So let's start. For me to do this effectively, I would take time to okay, I won't want to bug Omar or me that much. So Omar or me, for to plan my wedding, I'm going to break it down in 3 phases. So the first part, I'll say planning. I'll call it the planning phase. I'll call this the planning phase. Sorry, planning phase. And under the planning phase, what do? We do, okay, we're what do we do? Let's say we inquire. Let me move caps lock. Let's say inquire. We're going to inquire um, inquiry on, okay, inquire on, let me just see, this might not be good English, but inquire on tradition. Inquiry on tradition. Okay, let me, that sounds much better. Inquiry on tradition. Sorry, my wife's name to my wife to be, her name is Princess, so I'll just be saying Princess from now henceforth. Inquiry on tradition. And what else? Let me say what do you say, compiling. I'll say compiling the guest list. Guest, that's part of planning. Guest list. Choosing, deciding. I'll say deciding on location. Deciding on location. And I'll say let me say, okay, let me put in the planning phase, we also budget. So we'll say budgeting. That's one of the things I will do. Then also, what else do I want to take into consideration? What else am I planning for? Let me say let's say drafting, logistics. Let me see, and let me just say logistics and security. And sorry, Omami, are you following? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we're done with the planning phase. I want us to enter another phase now that has to do with I'll call this execution. So I'll just keep this short and simple. I'm sure your own project is going to be a lot more detailed. So now I'll call it. Let me say the next phase is going to be what phase? Execution phase. Execution phase. And in the execution phase, what will I do? I will have to okay, pay for hall, how do I say, do you pay or you hire security? And what else am I doing? What else? Execution. Let's see. Omami, what do you think? What other things? What other things do you think I need to do for execution? Okay, paying for the catering service. She said paying for. Okay, let me know. Let me. Okay, paying for. Okay. Catering. I don't know. Is this the correct spelling? Catering. Paying for catering. Of course, everyone knows that's food. And now let's see. I also pay for entertainment. And what else? I also pay for. Let me see. Pay for bride price. Okay. Let me say fulfill. I don't know, is that traditional rights, which includes paying a bride price. I don't know if the spelling of fulfill is correct. Fulfill, is it double L? I do not know, but okay, let's just go ahead. And let's go into the last phase. Let's say the last phase is what um, we had the planning phase, we had the execution phase, and let me just call it conclusion. I'm just going to call it conclusion. Conclusion, is that correct? This I don't know if that's correct. Conclusion. Okay, I think I'm missing a C. Conclusion. I don't know conclusion. Is that correct? I'm not sure. But let's say in conclusion, let me say conclusion. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, let me just call it. Let's say during the. I'll just call it. I'll call it wedding ceremony. Wedding ceremony. So I don't know. Let me just say okay. So for wedding ceremony, I want to drag this thing a little bit to this side to accommodate it. So on that wedding ceremony, all I say, let me see what happens that day. We'll say we welcome guests and opening. Okay, welcome guest introduction. That's welcoming of guests, of course. No, let me just introduction of family slash dignitaries. I don't know if that's correct. Guys, forgive me, I might not be spelling correctly today, but this class has to continue. Introduction of families and dignitaries. Then let's say how will I say, joining together. Okay, let me just say official union. Let's call it item 7, where everybody come and eat my hard-earned money. Item 7. And how will I say, let me say blessings. Then finally we'll say closing. I think that should be it. So now, like you notice, everything under this is manually inserted, but I don't want everything. I can just go ahead manually and let me just change from start to finish all of it and insert auto. Doesn't want me to do that automatically. Let me see if it will let me drag this. Okay, just change everything to automatic, so that I just insert something there. I don't have to manually be putting it. If I do it, so you can auto calculate even every other thing that I have to insert. So keep going, make them automatic. Or else I can just say everything here should be what automatic. That's moving forward. So let's just auto the processes. And I know the way I listed this task, it looks like everything just is lumped up together, but that's not how Microsoft Project likes it being more organized. It's way more organized than that, and I'll show you in a second. Let me just finish this. Okay, and finally make this also to be automatic. So now I'll come all the tasks that are under planning. I'm going to highlight all of them. This is under planning. I'm going to indent them. So I'll go back to task and I'll click on the indent task. So at the moment I indent it, you notice that the phase becomes bolder. So it means that all these activity are under the planning activity. So now the same thing I'm going to do here. I'll highlight everything that is under execution. I'm going to also indent it. When I indent it, knows that every activity here is under execution. And I'll do the same thing to the marriage ceremony. And I also indent it to show that everything's under the marriage ceremony. So I didn't include these last two. So I'm going to also indent them as well. So now they are all under marriage ceremony. So now it's guessing that everything is done within one day. And it says that the start day is Thursday and it's finishing on the same day. So it doesn't know the actual day. So I'm going to spread it out a bit and drag this thing a little bit to this side. And now a little bit kind of like zoom. So open this up a little bit. So now on the first day, let's assume that for the planning phase, I'm going to just ignore that. Then I'll say for the, let me say the planning phase, let me say inquiry on tradition. Let's assume that for me to inquire about the tradition, the duration can be either in the duration that I'm inserting for all the tasks can either be in minutes, can be in hours, can be in days, can be in weeks. You understand? Or even months. So let's say for me to inquire about the tradition, it will take me 2 months to go to my wife's place to go and inquire. So MO, it knows that it's months. So sorry, just a second. 2 months MO. Mm-hmm. So it's calculating and saying total or the planning phase will take this, but that's not the case. So now let's say 2 months, then it's calculating in days. So to compile the guest the list guest list, let's say that will take me about 2 weeks. 2W, it knows that it's weeks I'm talking about. So deciding on location, that's because I must have inquired, because in project management there are also multiple text that underlines other tasks that we might not pay attention to. So let's say what do you call this? Um, um, let's say deciding on location might take me just 3 days, 3 days, 3D. It knows its days I'm referring to. So budgeting, for me to budget this, that means I must have gone to those places to find out how much everything costs, or to have an inquiry and make a lot of numerous calls and visit a lot of places. So let me say budgeting might take me later, maybe up to 3 months. Uh-huh. Then drafting of the logistics, I must have gone around to know where I can hire vehicles and make everything, plan the entire logistics. So I'll work with the wedding planner to do that. That will take me, let me say about 4 weeks. Hmm. Then as you can see, the number of days is getting more and more and more. So let me just click this in days. Okay, everything is going on according to plan. So execution phase. Now let's say under execution phase, what do I need to do? I said for the hall I have to rent the hall. Let me say to decide to rent it of the, okay, pay for the hall should not take long. Let me just say 1 hour, 1H. You know what I'm talking about. To hire security, I need to go visit and whatever. So let me just say 2 days, 2 days to actually hire the security. 2 days, sorry. 2D, he knows that, that's what I'm saying. Then paying for catering, to actually pay them shouldn't take long. Let me just say 3 hours. Yeah, assuming I'm going to the bank to go and do it. 3 hours. Then payment for entertainment, and that guy, so you just do them transfer now. So let's just say 45 minutes in case if there's any issue. Then fulfill traditional rights execution, for that pay for everything. Let me say total it will take me like 4 months. 4 months. Okay. Uh-huh. Then marriage, see now if you notice, it's saying that it take me like, is it 80 days, 4 months. Okay, it's calculating all the days and putting them under, calculated all these days and put them here. So now let's go ahead and say, okay, the guest, for the guest, now to welcome guests should just take me about, during the wedding dinner, the welcoming of guests should just take me about, let me say 2 hours, or let's say 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 1.5, 1.5 hours. Then let's say introduction of families, that will take some time. Let's say 40 minutes, 40 minutes. Let me say 40, maybe MI, just say minutes. It's referring to only the things in those official union. So just give me a second, let me pause the video that I'm recording. Let's pause what I'm recording. Let me just pause it. Let me just actually